the fabulous Miss Trisha Mann Grant.
Thank you guys for that lovely, warm welcome, and thank you for being here at Mann Talk. And listen, I shared with you a little earlier before the cameras came on that this show was strictly for men at one time. But we're doing something special today because this is something that needs a lot of attention in families, and we have a lot to share. So I'm not just here as your host today with a broken nail, because we're gonna keep it real today. So every time I say man talk, real topics, y'all say real talk. All right, so let's go, man talk, real talk. All right, so we're gonna be so transparent and honest, so get ready. That's why we have tissue, because you know, I may make Cosme cry, you may make me cry. But I want to go ahead and let you know that this is sponsored by BAADU. It's also sponsored by Village Cœur D'Amour, because it takes a village. It takes a village, guys, to help our children, help even our siblings and family members, people that are struggling with special needs, mental and physical disabilities, drug and alcohol and everything. So there are many parents out there that are caregivers of children, and I'm sure someone in this audience may be able to relate to that. So our goal is not only to seek out the need and offer resources, but also to create a judgment-free, did y'all get that? Matthew 7:1, judge not lest ye be judged, but judgment-free zone, okay, to talk and network with others. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the show, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these guests and my wonderful co-host introduced. First, Mr. Tony Grant. He is the lead singer of The Temptations, and yes, that is the original group with Mr. Otis Williams. And
all right.
He is also the lead singer of Chicago and was the lead singer of As Yet, which is for all of our 90s babies, if you like 90s music. And also he's been on a lot of Tyler Perry plays, and even was on Love Thy Neighbor as Philip. And hey, he's also my husband. How about that? We have next to Tony is Tammy Waters, lifelong learner and adventurer. She continuously explores her life and the lives of others with creative expression through poetry and multimedia art forms, which are her passions, using all parts of her brain. Whew, we all need to do that, don't we, Tammy? Yeah, she owns and operates an income tax and financial services business, Waters Tax Service, and y'all know we need to get our taxes done, helping people expand and express their lives through financial literacy, health, and wellness through the recovery community. Let's give Tammy Waters some love. And Cosme Russell, who happens to be a personal friend of mine. I've actually been in quite a few of his plays, and I think Tony has worked with you too, Cos. He is an NAACP award-winning playwright and producer. He started his career in the late 1970s as an actor and stand-up comedian. He eventually transitioned into writing, which he does very well. He's very prolific, by the way, and producing stage plays. He has penned 16 plays. He has penned 16 plays. Just for editing purposes, I'm gonna say it right. He has penned 16 plays. Many which has won numerous awards and have been produced throughout the United States. Cosme is transitioning from stage to film, and will be producing and filming short films and a pilot for his first sitcom in the fall, which I'll be starring in. He doesn't know.
All right.
Welcome, welcome. All right, guys. So right here, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to share some very true stories that each of us have been through. I'm not just your host today, I'm also a guest. I also cannot wait to speak with the experts because I need help. My husband, who has been dealing with things, needs help. So you guys stand by. Man Talk. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, and welcome back to Man Talk. I am your host, Trisha Mann Grant, with my co-host, Tony Grant. have the best audience you could absolutely, we have the best audience you could ask for, I tell you. So guys, even though I'm smiling, I and my husband have been dealing with an issue, so I'm going to share first. I'm going to get this ball rolling, Cosmo and Tammy, and of course, I know you jump in, Mr. Grant. We have a son. Is his stepson, but he acts like such a great father. I forget sometimes that it's not his son because he has been truly amazing through this whole process. And I love my son. Very smart as a whip. He's amazing. He's got so much potential. And so for the past 10 years, off and on, we've been dealing with what I have finally come to accept, mental illness and also some drug abuse. Now, according to my son, it's just marijuana. Sometimes it seems like a little more, but I know that one day he'll probably watch this, and that day when he does, I know he'll be healed and he'll be in a better place. So I'm not here to tear him down, I'm here to share because I want to stop talking about it and I want to be about it. I want to help someone. I struggled with actually putting a video up before this show on Instagram. And I didn't want people thinking that, hey, she's just trying to promote, you know, this particular show. I really didn't. I really just wanted to put the video up for months and I struggled with it. But I'm still going to. Now here we're doing Man Talk, so it's all out. You know, this is edited enough. But he had been missing for 5 months. Thought it was 6, but I went back and counted properly. It was about 5 months, the end of January. And I was on the phone with my mother a few weeks back, and we just started to say a quick little prayer. And that quick little prayer turned into a real intense prayer. And I felt that a shift in the atmosphere. I felt like I'm going to see him. And Mr. Grant kept encouraging me. He kept saying, babe, he's coming back. I'll be honest with you guys, I felt disconnected. I did not know whether my son was dead or alive. Every time an ambulance went by my window, which was often, I would think, he's probably in there. What if? I had all kinds of thoughts that I had to battle and fight to stay positive, to come against depression, which is something I went through before when he disappeared. And I'm like, wait, I forgot who I am and whose I am, so let me get it together and go ahead and just trust and believe. And that's easier said than done when you have a whole child out there running around the streets homeless, smoking, drinking, and not in the right mindset, mental capacity to make decisions for himself. So he just came back. He came back about, I mean, I was even talking to other homeless people in the neighborhood, like, have you seen Daniel? How you all doing? What's going on? I give him stuff, I talk to him, just please let me know if you see Daniel. Please reach out to him, tell him to come home. I just want to lay eyes on him, as Tony has said many times. So he recently came back, and I can tell you the past 4 days, I haven't had much sleep. Because we haven't had much sleep. Let me stop. You know, I keep saying I, because I'm mom. But here's the thing with step parents. You have to remember that when a step parent is there in the house dealing with what you're dealing with as a mother, they're dealing with it too. And I have to be mindful that I'm not the only one going through this. The people that love him are going through it. So he just came back. We've been trying to get him help. I was on the phone, I've been going here and there, different places, and it's a lot of outreach places that I will mention later when we speak with other panelists, and, you know, in conjunction with what they have to share, and maybe that can help someone here. But yesterday, I think, was the final straw, as my grandmama used to say, that broke the camel's back. Yesterday, several people called with these amazing programs. All he had to do was be detached from his phone. He has a bed, he could get food, clothing, spiritual encouragement, and education, all kinds of wonderful things. And when they said, but you can't have your phone, Nah. That was his reaction. Nah, you know, I gotta get my life back. Well, that's the whole point. So, you know, I don't want to be locked down. That hurt. That hurt as a mom. And so, right now, we are at the place where we have to just, all right, Lord, we surrender. Because, like he said to me yesterday, you can't not control this. He has to want help. And if they don't want help, you cannot force them to get help. So I have a 28, he'll be 29 July 1st, almost 29-year-old son living on the street, sleeping in my car for the past 4 days. And it is probably, I feel helpless. So that's our story. I don't know if you want to interject before we move on.
I do, just a bit. One of the things I've realized is in life, even dealing with siblings and family members, even before, you know, in dealing with this situation, one of the things I understand is you can't control the decisions that people want to make. Sometimes it's enhanced by fear, sometimes it's enhanced by substance abuse, other times it's just enhanced by disobedience. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and it doesn't matter what you think or how you feel. And I've come to realize that in my own life and in my travels with being all over the world and seeing young people and talking to young people that are on the street just because they choose to, because my mama won't let me play this video game all day long, or because my mother took my cell phone. And I've come to realize that a lot of times that when young people, or even some older people, decide to make this decision, you have to let them be who they are for the moment. I'm going to say for the moment because I refuse to believe that that's just the end result. I refuse to believe that. So you have to allow them to be who they are, and then, you know, when the Bible talks about come to yourself, you have to come to yourself. So how do you come to yourself? You can't come to yourself based upon what somebody else says, or what somebody else wants, or what somebody else does. You have to get to a place in your life where you make that personal decision. And that personal decision that you make says, excuse my language, come hell or high water, I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to stick to this because I don't want to go back to that, because I know what that's like. So in this process, what my wife and I have gone through, the very last time he was home, that's when I made the decision. And I said, okay, because I started asking questions like, okay, how does helping you hurt me? How does that work? How does helping you hurt me? Only in me being compassionate for your situation should it hurt me. Other than that, I should be excited about helping you. So I came to that conclusion, and I backed up at that moment, and I said, you know what? The best thing I can do for him, or anyone else for that matter, is be there when they have a need, but when they have a want, I have to let them take care of that want.
And then the thing is, I want it more than he does.
That's right.
And that's sad.
That's love.
When you want something more for someone than they want for themselves. And I can tell you, just yesterday I really came to that realization. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but this is my reality right now. But I'm trusting that it will get better. So let's move on to Tammy. I know you have something to share with us. And I could tell in your eyes when you were looking at me that you can truly relate.
Yes, thank you for your story, your testimony, and thank you for yours. And, you know, one thing that we all have in common when we start talking about this topic is we can all say we have a loved one. We have a loved one who is in this situation or that situation. And I am a loved one. You know? And you know, my story is probably not unlike many people. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I've been clean and sober for 35 years. And going through this with my loved one, every day I have to look up and say, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, you know, because my parents went through a lot of the pain and agony that I have gone through as well. And one thing that I've learned in being supportive or in relation to a person who is experiencing drug addiction and alcoholism, which is a disease. It's a mental illness. Addiction is mental illness. Okay, and trying to manage the unmanageability of their life causes unmanageability in my life. Like what Tony was saying, how does helping you hurt me? And I've gone out looking, you know, driven the streets at night, answered the phone, and gone to the places where are unsafe, and try to bring them back, and been met with yeah, but I'm not ready, and much to what you were saying, I had to reach my bottom waiting for them to reach theirs. You know, I had to stand in my bottom, and you know, it's not easy. And knowledge alone, you know, having, you know, 35 years of information and experience in my own life, and knowing what got me here is not always an answer for somebody else.
That's right.
You know, my knowledge cannot restore them. You know, but building a community like this, when I was asked to come, you know, all I could do was say yes to this. This is not where I usually share. I'm usually behind a podium in a smoky room, you know, identifying as an alcoholic and sharing my experience, strength, and hope, you know.
Yes.
But there is a lot of hope out there. There's a lot of free programs, plenty 12-step programs. There's thousands of meetings in the community and on Zoom. You know, the pandemic brought forth another platform for getting help.
Yes.
And so, I mean, if you're here today to get information for your loved one, get information for yourself.
Good word, good word. Tim, yes, please. You said you were standing at the bottom. What did that look like for you? Was that standing at the bottom, was that your breaking point to getting help? And how many, so it's a two-part question. How many programs did you turn down before you said yes?
Well, when I turned legal drinking age in 1978, I went into my first recovery program.
Okay.
10 years later, and crack cocaine brought me back in 1988. And I can't say that I tried a lot in between time. You know, we think that it's a moral issue, that we're choosing, you know, I use because of this, or I drink because of that. But once you cross a particular line, drugs and alcohol are making your daily decisions for you. And so I took the moral stigma off of myself and my loved one. You know, I knew that sometimes we're not in control, and when presented with the information, that I'm not doing this because I want to. In fact, I want to stop, but I can't. And when you face that reality, then I believe you have an opportunity to make a decision to get the help, to do what is suggested.
Okay. So, the only thing I've ever been addicted to is Altoids. I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. I'm so serious. This man is so concerned about me right now because I have to have Altoids every day. And sometimes he's like, oh, I'm just popping them like Skittles. That's an addiction. But it's a real addiction for me. And that's something I need to overcome. But it's not half as serious as what a lot of people deal with what you're talking about. So tell me, when they say, I'm an alcoholic, hi, welcome to AA, or I don't know, I've never been to one of those meetings, but I know they say, I'm Tammy, I'm an alcoholic. If you've overcome it, listen to me, I just added a new word. If you have overcome the addiction, you're no longer, say you're 10, 15, 20 years clean, why are they still professing to be an alcoholic? That has always confused me.
Yeah.
Because see, I believe in the power of words. And so hey, I know they're the experts, this is the program that they put together. But that part right there, why not say, I used to be an alcoholic. I'm an overcomer. I'm a conqueror of alcohol. And has that ever come up for you? Have you ever wondered that?
Well, I mean, I get asked that question all the time.
Okay.
You know, why not ask the question? Once a pickle, always a pickle. I'll never be a cucumber again. I pray in the affirmative. Okay. I don't ask God in the morning to help me stay sober today. I thank God for allowing me to stay sober today. Part of the addiction and mental illness, it centers in our thinking. If I don't hold fast to the idea that I cannot drink again, I will. I haven't been sober 12,456 days, and I count my days, to one day think, oh, I have been without for that long, maybe today I can. So it's and a component of the disease is forgetting. I'm unable to bring to mind with sufficient force that yesterday Altoids gave me heartburn.
Right.
So
thank you.
I can remember.
For clarifying that because
Can I add to something to that? You said something earlier that really moved me. You said you went out to help your loved one, and at that point is when you saw you. You saw you needed to get yourself together, basically, I guess, when that person said, I'm not ready yet. And it makes me think about us as people, that sometimes we have to see someone else, ourselves in someone else, before we can come to ourselves in some of the decisions that we make. And I think that is so powerful. And you were just saying how, all of these days you've been alcohol free and things of that nature. One of the things I often say this to different people I speak to, as well as my wife, and I say this speaking for myself first. The flesh never forgets, but the spirit takes control. And I think that's such a powerful component for us as people. And one of the things that I really, really give thought to is, this is a conversation that where I grew up in North Carolina, we didn't have this conversation. We weren't talking about this, about family members having some mental issues. Oh, you just need to go pray. That's what we do. You just need to go out in the woods and talk to the Lord. You know, but to know, being here in California, to know that there's so many people that have situations and things that need some help, need some encouragement, need another objective other than what they think it is. They need to see another objective, and to hear the things that she has gone through, and to see her sitting here looking lovely and in confidence. You know, that to me is a true testament of what we are dealing with just as human beings out here in this world today. So that's very powerful.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim. It's really deep, and we're about to go deeper. You are looking at a walking testimony
Oh,
right
yes.
here. He just overcame cancer. And what I love about it is Cosmo used to be at a place where, and I might let you tell the story because it's hilarious. Tony was supposed to show up for your play. Okay, I'm gonna let you tell it. Tony was on a plane like a couple of hours before the play. And we were like, just trust, all is well, And he's like, trust, my show is about to start. And I have watched his faith grow through this process of cancer. But he's not just here for that. He just recently lost his wife. And Cosmin, I'd love you to go ahead and share. Your ex-wife just recently had a beautiful memorial service for her. She was on the street, and it was dealing with drugs. So how are you feeling right now?
Trisha Mann Grant,
Yes, sir.
Tony Grant, Tammy Waters, studio audience, virtual audience. I'd like to, from the depths of my soul, thank you for the precious privilege of having the opportunity to grieve publicly in front of you. Thank you. I had no idea what this was going to be all about, but I am a true believer, and I know that this is truly ordained by God, that I am here so that I can continue on my healing journey. I am not an ordained minister, but I have some of that Baptist juice in me. So if I need to, you need to bring me in. I have decades of story and testimony. One of the lines in one of my plays is, everybody has a story. Everybody, regardless if they talk about it, regardless if they are transparent, like the people on this panel. Everyone has a story. I'm going to take you to the end of mine, and then if we have time, I will take you through some of the journey. Thank God I was in church February 26th of this year. Myself and my daughter, not my biological daughter. I don't refer to her as my stepdaughter. My daughter. And we were doing a play for Black History Month at Mount Sinai Church of God in Christ in Pomona, California. And I'm going to try not to get emotional, right? I'm going to be totally transparent. The minister of music ran up to me and said, Brother Russell, I don't know what's going on, but your daughter is in the hallway having a meltdown. Now, I'm the director of the play, I'm the writer of the play, I'm acting in the play, and she is also in the play. And it's 15 minutes before curtain. And she said, she said, please don't bring my father out. I said, are you out of your mind? Take me to my daughter. No, she said, don't bring. Take me to my daughter. I went. She was in the hallway. Crying. And I said, sweetheart, what's going on? She said, no, Dad, no. Go and do your show. You've always taught me. The show must go on. The show must go on. The show must go on. I'll talk to you after the show. No, forget the show. What's going on? And she said, Dad, no, go and do your show. I said, well, are you going to do the show? She said, I'll let you know in about 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know, Dad. Tears streaming down her face. I stopped. I looked her in the eyes. And I said, is it what I think it is? She said, yes, Dad. I said, is she gone? She said, yes, Dad. I hugged her, and I told her that everything would be okay. The coroner's office had just called my daughter and informed her, her mother, my wife, who had been homeless, who we had no contact with for 6 months, we'd been in and out of different housing units, living homeless on the street, had died. And if you remember, this was February 26th. If you remember the beginning of this year, we had some of the worst weather you've ever seen in California. I don't remember anything like it. Continuously rainy and cold, and almost like blizzard type conditions. They found her unresponsive in front of 3800 West Hollywood Boulevard, laying on the street, dead. They said people were walking around her, trying to keep from tripping over her. That is the last story I had heard about my wife, the mother of my son, the mother of my daughter. And I'm going to rush through something and then you can ask any questions. She suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. I do want to say that one thing, and I'm a man of great faith, but the one thing I do ask God all the time is, why mental illness? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I hear people say, well, it's their choice. Meaning the person that's demonized what they're going through the challenges. And because I have experienced it with my late wife since around 1987, I had to come to terms with places. They are under attack. My late wife was afraid of dogs that were never there. She was running from dogs. So the reason she'd run from place to place is because she was just seeking peace. She was seeking freedom. She was seeking some type of comfort. And a lot of times she felt it more on the street than she did enclosed in 4 walls. So I hear us when we say, they've got to want to. Trust me, nobody wants to go through that demonic hell that they go through. Nobody. But they're not used to call coroner's offices. I used to file missing persons report. I have pictures of my wife on the street, homeless and smelling like the stench of urine. And I take her in, give her shelter, only for her to flee the next day. So, like I said, I got that Baptist juice in me.
No.
If you have any
You had
comments
to.
or questions.
Thank you. No, you had to get that out. I just went to the police station a day or two before my son showed up to fill out another. I've lost count how many missing persons reports I put out over the time. To fill out another one. And I was greeted by an officer that wasn't very familiar, female and a minor. And she started questioning me as if I had killed my own child and stuck him under the house somewhere. And I understand that there are people that do those crazy things. I understand they exist. But I didn't need that at that time. I needed compassion. I just needed you, can you just check? Or please do this, this missing persons report. So she started to question me. She started, and then I said, well, I have a report out on, or I put one out, but it's no longer there because the officer that called me about that, she said she had to take it out of the system because that's what they do with missing persons report. Once they do find them, they take it out of the system. And she said, oh, it's still in here. And I said, oh my God, thank you. That was Officer King. She said, no, I'm sure it's one of his friends. I said, no, that doesn't make sense. That his friend. No, I'm sure it was somebody else put it in. I said, no, it was Officer King. I asked her to please leave it, and she was kind enough to do so. And then I said, can you do me a favor and just put a note saying that he's got some issues so that nothing happens to him. And I said, you know what I mean? And she looked me in my eyes very coldly and said, no, I don't know what you mean. So I had two choices, I can choose to be very mature and just walk out the door and let this go because I know that the report, or I can go ahead and respond to this. And I chose to respond. And I said, okay. So what I mean is that I have a young black son who I don't want to be another statistic because one of your fellow officers who may be trigger happy will pull the trigger and do to him what has been done to other young black men all over this country, world, for all I know. So I would love it if you could just put a note, just so that that doesn't happen to him. Do you understand? She's like, yeah, I understand. I know you did. I knew she understood when I said it. And I walked out of there so angry. I was so angry because of the way I was treated from that. But putting those missing persons reports is so hard to walk into that place and do because you're hoping for an answer. And sometimes the way they treat you is like, next. And I guess because they're immune to it. This is what they see all the time.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
That's how many people treat you because they just can't relate. But the one thing, God always gives us a rat in the bush. Whenever I filed a report, there was always someone there that would say, I have a family member that's going through the same thing. Or, I understand you, my brother. Or, I know I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do this. But I'm going to look the other way, and I'm going to do it. So God always encamps us with angels that will provide us with what we need.
So I want to say thank you to each of you. Tammy, thank you for sharing. Cosmin, thank you. And I know this is difficult because you are grieving. And my God, people will say the craziest things to you when you're grieving. He'll say, you'll get over it. You know, you can get married again.
They're in a better place.
Yeah, she's in a better place. And although all those things may be true, the best thing you can tell someone that's going through something that's devastating is, I'm praying for you. And if you need me, if you just want me to be an ear, I'm here for you. And so I appreciate you guys. Tony Graham, my baby, honey, boo-boo. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I do, because for you to stand up and be the father that you've been to my child and not walk away, because you could have walked away. And you could have said, you know, I got time for this. This is crazy. I got to deal with this. And you chose to stay and fight with me, and you still do. You still encourage him, give him clothes when he comes and shows up, feed him. We both, you take care of him, and you're there to encourage me and check me when I go a little emotional on the left. So thank you for that. Yeah.
His son, when he was 5 years old, he was just this active, just all over the place kid. And when we would send him to school, they kept wanting to put him on some medication, I guess it's called Ritalin or something. They just kept wanting to, and I understand that some things, there are some foods and there are some things that just cause a chemical imbalance.
Yes.
Come to realize what it was for my son was sugar. And we would make him those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and he would eat that jelly and just be all over the place. It made me think then at that point about, okay, what to pull from the diet or what to put in the diet. And some of those things sometimes can cause some issues or cause people or children to act in a way that makes them sensitive to other things that they take into their body. And when I have to say, when it comes to Daniel's like, he's my hero. I'll just keep that 100. I've told him these words. You're my hero because you're a genius. Smartest kid. Oh my Lord Jesus. Probably one of the smartest kids I've ever seen or met in my life. And to watch him break things down, but then have this desire to just do it his own way. He just wants to do it his own way. But sometimes you run into that brick wall, and in wanting to do it your way, and you escape the reality of where following rules and the laws, things of that nature. And he struggles. He struggles, but he's still my hero. Still my hero. Because I see deep down past all of the issues and the substance abuse and things of that nature. And those things cause him to act in a way that's not seemingly correct.
That's right.
When we know when he's had a hit. We know when he's had a hit of whatever that drug is that he's taking or tried to take. We know, but then when he's not, oh my Lord Jesus, he's just this amazing, loving kid with this big, bright smile, and there's no shame. He can't embarrass me. He can't embarrass me no matter how he acts, because I see him.
So guys, we have heard from our first set of guests and of course co-host Mr. Tony Grant. But when we come back, we are going to hear from the experts that can share so much information to help all of us and the ones out there that are watching, the ones that are in this audience that are going through what we're going through. So hey, be right back with Man Talk. I'm your host, Trisha Mann Grant.